Live from WSA, this is Expense Account. Today, we're joined by two very special guests. We have Paul Carmichael, the chef of New York's newest Momofuku restaurant, Kabawa. And we also have Marguerite Mariscal Zabar, the CEO of the Momofuku Group. It was a treat and an honor to talk to them. Momofuku for me was a foundational text, as it was for so many millennial food-adjacent people in New York City in the early aughts. I've loved to watch the empire grow and evolve and fail and succeed. But to me, Kabawa is a real triumph. It represents the diverse, immigrant-driven American cuisine that made Momofuku famous, but it's also purely Paul and his warmth. The three of us had a great conversation, discussing dim sum carts, non-linear career paths, and how a good old-fashioned reservation line is a real luxury these days. This is Expense Account. Enjoy. Today we have two very special guests. We have Paul Carmichael, chef of Kabawa, and we have Marguerite Zabar Mariscal, CEO of Momofuku. Did I say both names correctly?
Phenomenal.
This is our first time having two guests, which is very fun. I'm really excited to get into it with you guys. I guess what I wanted to talk about first is like your first memories of Momofuku. You grew up in New York, Marguerite, so you must have like some pretty early memories. What year did it start?
So it started in 2004 in the East Village. How old was I then? I went with my dad, I remember, to the original location. And for my 18th birthday, I went to when Dave was still like behind the counter cooking. But yeah, I just always, I think, admired what Dave was doing, admired the group. And so I applied for an internship when I was 21. I've been there ever since.
How long has that been?
14 years.
Okay, so we're all figuring out the age.
And when I started working there, Paul was already at Mapesh, uptown. So we've known each other for as long as I've worked at Momo.
Nice. And what was your first memory, Paul?
Probably just going to Noodle Bar.
Yeah.
I had met Dave a few months before he opened. We went to this orphans Christmas at Conchi Village.
Oh, yeah.
And then he opened, and we started going there quite often, like after work.
Because remind me of your CV. You're like a WD, you're like a Wiley Frayne. What?
WD?
Yeah. And where else did you work? Did you work with Dave before?
I worked in so many places. No, we never worked together before that. But I work in a lot of places in New York. Yeah.
When did you move to New York? You're from where?
I'm from Barbados.
Cool.
I moved in 98 or 99. Yeah, that was good and fun.
Good.
It was cold. I remember. That's the one thing I remember about moving. I moved there February, and it was freezing. Yeah. It was the first time I ever saw snow.
That must be crazy.
Yeah.
What neighborhood did you move to?
The Bronx. I stayed there for about a week and a half before I moved to the CIA.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Where was the first restaurant that you worked at in New York?
Aquavit.
Aquavit. Oh, wow. It's been around for that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Aquavit's been around a long time. Marcus was the chef. He was like 26 or 27, I want to say. It was a lot of fun. It was hard.
So when did you start working for Momofuku?
Momo was 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
And the first one, it was
Mapesh.
Was Mapesh.
Yeah.
Cool.
We opened Mapesh. So 10, a bunch of us opened Mapesh. That was a journey.
I remember Mapesh, the carts.
Oh, please. That is
there was many iterations.
Yeah, that is the worst of Mapesh.
I'm always like, why does for those who don't know, they were trying to do, maybe you guys can speak to it better, but there's like a dim sum cart kind of concept. But I'm always like, why does no one do that? Seems, I mean,
we can tell you.
State for Provisions does it, right?
Why they do it really well,
why don't people do a dim sum cart?
I think, so we played around with it. I think it's tough, and Paul can speak to this because he actually be the person to do it. But you have to essentially, it's like bountiful, but also you don't want to waste food. And so there's this like push-pull of like having everything available, having everything on the carts. Also timestamps as to, nothing can sit there for that long. Like good dim sum obviously has like this volume that allows everything to stay fresh. And it's all things also that work, well steamed.
Yeah.
And so trying to make a variety of food that A, can sit for X hours and be good and there be enough of it and the right pars and all of that is
and also
tough.
having the setup. I think if your plan was to do that and you built your space around that, I think you could be successful, aka skateboard.
Yeah. What did you guys have on the cart?
What didn't we try at the cart? We had a lot of buns.
Oh yeah,
buns worked really well.
Yeah.
We did small plates. We did a lot of things.
But I guess I would call out, so that was one era of Mopash.
We did ice cream.
There was
Ice cream?
Was there ice cream?
Yeah, I had an ice cream cart. It was wild, man.
But I would say before that, there was this period of Mopash so Sue Chan, who is the head of marketing, PR, everything at Momo.
She's got an office in here.
She does, WSA.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started, she said, Mopash is the best Momofuku restaurant right now, and no one is noticing. And Paul was making unbelievable food. I was just talking to a food critic who was at one of our restaurants in LA, and he was like, I remember there was this whole fish, which was the porgy with the fry bread and the fennel slaw, and it's like still so top of mind. Like there were just these amazing dishes that Paul was making, but it was a really weird space, subterranean, hard neighborhood, hard everything, and I just feel like it didn't get the credit that Paul deserves.
I feel like as a group, you guys like to make it hard on yourself. Is that a thing that you guys
100%.
do actively?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
It's like you're always choosing like the
worst spot.
newest neighborhood that
Yep.
no one has ever been to, that's created basically just for the restaurant, and then but not anymore.
Not anymore. It's interesting. I think that's exactly right.
But it's cool.
It's cool.
Sometimes.
Until you stop making money.
Sayobo is a great example of that, where the only restaurant in Sydney, Australia, the first restaurant outside of Manhattan for the restaurant group.
Yeah.
And it was the back corridor of a casino in Sydney.
An aging casino.
An aging casino across from like a fast casual concept.
Yeah, a few things. There was a pastry shop at one point, then like a rice burger shop at another point.
At one point, they were like, would you mind if a McDonald's went across from you? And we were kind of like,
Did you mind?
no.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of on brand.
But, it was an exercise in everything stacked against us.
Yeah.
And so if we win, you win big.
Yeah.
And the restaurant
No
went on
pun
to
intended.
get 3 hats and just their equivalent kind of Michelin stars in Australia, or, 4 stars in the Times. And, they did it, but it was a massive, massive uphill battle.
Yeah. But what about Hudson Yards?
Hudson Yards, genuinely one of my favorite restaurants we've ever
That
opened.
restaurant was amazing. I went there on my birthday when it first opened.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Unjo's
was
incredible.
great.
Yeah.
But yeah, they Related basically came to us and said, we're taking back the space to create an office. So now that entire area that was our restaurant is part of a 3-story office complex that was the Neiman Marcus and all of that taken over. But yeah, we liked it's like we were on the 4th floor, tucked away. I think that has been the mentality. I think we're evolving, our logic where, I think there's a lot of restaurants that also take not great deals because, hey, we'll build out this space because it's in a back corridor, or we'll, do this for you. But at the end of the day, you're the one who's holding the bag because you have to operate a restaurant there and have it be successful.
Yeah.
And so I think a big kind of change in our thinking, especially, when I became CEO, is like, let's pay money if it means the long-term prospects are much better.
It's just funny because like the original Momofuku, like the East Village, it felt like that it was such a like part of the neighborhood, it was like they're like little neighborhood restaurants, and that was kind of what was a special thing about them, I think, to a lot of people. And then there's like this shift.
Yeah, it's both. I think opening Kabawa.
Yeah.
I think that is very much a neighborhood restaurant.
You
know the name of every dog that plays in that alleyway and their owner, and I think that's the beauty, right? And we have at Major Domo, there's a guy I met at Friends and Family of our new spot that we just opened that comes every Saturday for lunch. Like, I think we really do have a loyal kind of like local population everywhere that we open restaurants. And that's like the lifeblood, I believe, of any restaurant.
I'm moving to the East Village, so maybe I will be a regular soon.
Welcome.
Can we talk about your neighbor? It's like the store that I'm obsessed with. It's only open like for 3 hours, like 2 days a week or something. Yeah. What is the name of that store? It's everything in there is beautiful.
Like Natalia or something like that. They survived everything.
So it went from 2 to 4 p.m. like
3 days
Wednesday,
a week.
Thursday, and Saturday or something.
It's the greatest. I want to be a part of that.
I know. I thought you maybe had some insight into what their secret is.
Not at all. I'm afraid to ask.
They sell just spoons that cost $200 and a doorknob or whatever. I don't know. I recently got married and I was like, this is the kind of stuff you put on your wedding registry. I guess that's what it is. I'd probably do online business.
Today's episode of Expense Account is brought to you by Silver Oak, a family-owned wine estate that believes every good moment deserves a great bottle.
Silver Oak believes celebrations shouldn't wait. They age their wine so each bottle is ready for every moment.
And you know what I love about Silver Oak?
What?
They have a hand in everything they do, from growing their own grapes, and they even craft their own American oak barrels.
I mean, that's why they're America's most iconic Cabernet. It's always rich, expressive, and smooth. And it's perfect to drink now, or you can cellar it for later.
Silver Oak, the official wine of Expense Account.
Cheers.
Cheers. The Expense Account podcast is built in partnership with Substack. I've been spending a lot more time on the Substack app. It's become my favorite escape to scroll productively, and it's also where I've built my business. Substack is where I read Link in Bio by Rachel Carton to learn what brands are actually doing right on social media, and where writers like Jaleel Johnson are reinventing real-time fashion reporting. A few weeks ago, I went live with Derek Thompson, and it felt like thousands of us were hanging out and talking about the state of parties. Everything for Feed Me lives there too. My daily newsletter, chats about New York City, live videos with pop stars like Audrey Hobart, and of course, there's always debates in the comment section. In fact, while I'm here reading this ad to all of you, my readers are talking to each other about where guys on Wall Street have been taking their lunch meetings. Go to substack.com/Emily to get a free month of Feed Me in the Substack app.
How would you define a Momofuku restaurant? When you're trying to conceptualize a new restaurant, say Kabawa, how do you make sure that it fits into the mold that is Momofuku? Or what is the mold or the DNA?
Yeah, I can talk maybe just about Seobo, the V1, and then I feel like you can talk V2.
V2.
But V1 was, Dave Goes Out 2011, the week I started working at Momofuku, everyone was gone in Australia opening this restaurant. So I was kind of solo for a bit.
You were just in Australia?
No, I was in the office in New York City, but no one else was there. Everyone was busy opening this restaurant. And, the way that we talked about it was that basically for Australia to accept a Momofuku restaurant, it needs to have the DNA, but DNA only. And then everything else needs to be local. Whether it's the chefs that work there, Ben Greeno was the exec chef, the wine list, everything had to feel like it was for Australians, so basically, which I think Dave is kind of unique in, there was no pork bun, no this, no that. It was very we're not going to mail it. We're going to start from scratch and build this thing up.
Yeah.
And there were only a few references, I think quite smart, the kind of last course before, was it before dessert or was that the very last course?
I think it was right after dessert, or it might have
been was dessert. A super candied piece of bosom.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the final bite. And so that was kind of the callback, but everything else was really created with ingredients there. And so I think it's a really good example of, what is a Momofuku restaurant? What are the consistent pieces? And then how can you kind of have the parts come in and out based on who is the chef who's going to be there day in and day out. Dave is one of the first people, I think, to be a celebrity chef of his stature, but also put up his hand and say, I'm not the guy who's at Noodle Bar every single day. That's Pablo, right? Or, Paul is obviously Kabawa. But I think, there's a mentality to how do you approach food that I think you and Dave kind of both grew up in. And whether that's via Wiley, whether that's just working in New York City at that time. But the way that I think about it is kind of making the familiar unfamiliar or making, the reverse. So, I think Kabawa does this so effectively where it's exposing an audience who might not be familiar with food from the Caribbean, but doing it in a way where they want to try it and want to kind of expand their palate, but without it being a lecture. And they're just doing it because it's delicious. And that's, at the end of the day, what matters. So we do a lot of dishes at the restaurants where, you might see it and say, hey, I've had something like this before, but it's, the flavors might be different. Or you might see something that looks totally unfamiliar and take a bite of it and say, oh, this tastes exactly like, blah, blah, blah. And so I think what, Paul, you're doing is obviously so not the same, but at the same time kind of captures a lot of that. And I think, when Dave opened Noodle Bar in 2004, people's familiarity with ramen, people's familiarity with those flavors was unbelievably different than it is today.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same way, I would say, of like what Paul's doing is the forefront of what in 25 years might become common.
I mean, I guess, not to interrupt, but something for me that I think about with Momofuku as a group or like as a overarching project is like, it feels like American food, but via immigrants. It's all about making American food using all these flavors from, it could be Caribbean flavors, or it could be Japanese flavors, or Korean flavors, Chinese flavors, but making it into American food, or whatever American food means. But
so, yes, that's well said.
And no.
yes.
Yeah. But a really good example is, so in 2004, when Noodle Bar opened, the about us was Noodle Bar is an American restaurant.
Yeah.
Day one.
Yeah.
And two, there was a quote from Wolfgang Puck's cookbook, I think from like 1986, that is essentially, to paraphrase, like, America is diversity into unity.
Yeah.
Like, why shouldn't food be the same? And so I think there's very much this, and for the CPG company, the Momofuku Goods products, we always say that we want to redefine the American pantry.
Yeah.
Because what even is the American pantry?
Yeah. What was mustard at some point?
Yeah. And pasta sauce, right?
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like in the ethnic aisle
Yeah.
until 30 years ago, right? And so we're really interested in like that evolution and what it can be and how Momofuku can kind of like help push that forward.
I guess to rewind a little bit, to ask Paul, when you were conceptualizing Kabawa, you guys were doing it together, what were the discussions like and how to fit Kabawa into like the framework of Momofuku? Or you must have had some kind of like, I mean, that's where Ko used to be, so you have some big shoes to fill. Like,
Yeah. The beauty about Kabawa is that Marguerite and Dave fully trusted me.
yeah, it feels that way when
They fully trusted me. I'm also the person that the whole big shoes thing,
yeah,
I just can't.
you're very
anymore.
relaxed.
Yeah, because I come from a place where I'm like, hey, these are four walls. And there was something in there before Cole.
Yeah,
And there was something in there before that.
yeah,
And while Cole did amazing things and had incredible people working there, I would fail if I wanted to be, if all that was going through my head is like, I need,
of course.
I need to be better than this.
yeah.
So for me, doing anything in my life, any single thing is just like one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, and you try to just be the best that you can be.
I mean, it feels very self-confident. It's very much, it's like a very unique restaurant in New York City. You wouldn't think that it would be, right? Like, it's food of a diaspora that I feel like there's so many Caribbean people, and I don't know, it's so unique. I mean, it's your cooking is obviously amazing.
Look, I just think for me and Kabawa, the entire thing was, years ago in the 90s, it was this like clothing brand called Fubu,
Oh yeah, of course.
right?
Yeah,
That was my whole thinking about Kabawa.
Yeah.
Like I wanted
For
to
us,
build,
by us.
Yeah, I wanted to build something for my people.
Yeah.
And have it be, I don't want to use the word authentic, but I wanted it to feel like it's for them.
yeah. I mean, the
you know.
flavors are bold. Like the goat with the shrimp, with the dried shrimp sauce. It's like
The scallop, right? Scallop.
scallop. Yeah, it's like spicy and very like pungent. It's like, I was really taken aback by that dish in like a really special way. Like, it's rare that I get like smacked in the face by like a new flavor like that. I feel like so many restaurants are afraid to like take a swing like that. That was like one of my favorite dishes I ate this year.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to some of my crew, and I was like, it's very, like, putting it all together. Well, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was scary because
Yeah.
like I know the formula. I've been in this industry for a long time.
Yeah.
I know the formula that works.
Yeah.
Right. And to purposefully be like, I'm just gonna do something that I want to do that represents my region in a way that's like whole. Because like that's how we eat in all fairness, you know, like, and like it was a bit scary because like at the end of the day, I came here to do a job.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to perform that job at a high level.
Yeah.
Right. And it's all well and good to cook cool food.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like we run a business and I really want
Yeah.
business
It needs to be.
to shine and succeed.
Yeah.
You know? And I want, you know, at the end of the day, Marguerite and Dave to be like, yeah, we made a good choice.
Well, I mean, you and I had a convo, and Paul was on Australian time. I was usually here, and so we would chat at like, I don't know, like 9 or 10 p.m. my time. You're getting to the
I was on my way to work.
on the way to work, and you know, at one point, I think you said, Paul, you're like, "Thanks for taking a bet on me." I was like, "Well, if this is a bet, it's a pretty good bet."
Yeah.
Like, you currently run like the #1 restaurant in Australia. I've worked with you for 14 years. Yeah, let's do this, you know? And I think, you know, for us, it was really like giving Paul the platform. Yeah. And not, for example, like saying, oh no, like, but don't do that,
Yeah.
you know? And I think also like the thing that's really important, I think you would say too, is it's like the amount of time that you've spent in the industry, the perspective that you have because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that is the difference between like a 28-year-old being like, I'm going to open my own place and it's going to be so sick and
Yeah.
I'm going to make food I want to cook. And Paul, who is like, oh no, I've seen this movie so many times before and I know
He's done the
what
dim
works.
sum cart.
Yeah.
No dim sum carts at Kabawa.
Ooh,
Maybe.
maybe.
It'd be fun, like a little roti cart or something. I don't know.
But yeah, you know, for Kabao, it was just like this whole thing where it's funny building that space out. Food was the last thing I thought about.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the first thing?
Oh man, like
Paint?
figuring out like the space.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
that
yeah.
space is so uniquely cold.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
literally was built from one thing.
Yeah.
You know, and how do I make that one thing into our thing?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everything down to the height of the tables, to
yeah.
where the chairs are going to be, and the colors and the warmth of the colors. Like I have never nerded out about color theory so much. Like you just go into a shop and be like, oh, this green is not the right green. This green, you know, like,
Yeah.
but, and then food came, like I knew like a structure. I want like the structure that I think would work for the business.
Yeah.
But actually like what's going to be on the menu, that came pretty late in the piece.
Were you been thinking about Kabawa your whole life? Like, is this like the thing that you don't have to say that you have?
No, I haven't been thinking about Kabawa my whole life. I've been thinking about opening a space that represented and honored the Caribbean for a very long time. I would say from my 20s.
Well, I mean, Dave would always say,
Yeah.
wasn't your like
My thesis at the CIA was about like Caribbean food. But, you know, it like for me, that took a lot of time, right? I cooked with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I did what I was told for a long time. And then I was given the opportunity working with Wiley
Yeah.
to learn how to be creative. I think creativity is like a muscle you gotta like
Gotta
exercise.
practice,
And working at WD really helped with that. And then, you know, all the little there's a lot of mistakes that I
Yeah.
made over time. You know, and then I think what really happened for me was in Sydney. It had it all to do with maturity and like a lot of things just aligned.
Yeah.
I started to feel very confident with who I was as a person.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And I felt comfortable in my own skin, and I wanted to like do the things that made me feel joy,
Yeah.
right? And when that started to happen, I think things really turned around for me and my, like, I guess, creativity, you know, because it's kind of like being a friend.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you don't like yourself, you really can't truly like other people.
Yeah.
And you can't be a good friend. So like you gotta kind of be good to you to be good to others. And I think I got to a point in Sydney where it was just like, oh, I need to be good to me.
It's amazing. But you were by yourself, or?
And yeah, I was. I
guess that's
went.
how you
Had you been to Australia before?
I went to Australia to do an event with Dave.
So like one time,
in-
and then
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
living
in
there.
2011, which was quite fun.
And it's so, does all of your family live here, most of them?
My family lives in Barbados.
Oh, okay. What's the time difference over there?
Right now, they're an hour ahead.
Okay,
because
so
of
it's
daylight
similar.
savings.
Because when you go to Australia, my girlfriend's from Perth, or my wife, and it's 12-hour time difference. So it's like, you feel really alone sometimes. You have like a few hour time window when you can actually talk to people on the phone.
Yeah, I'm not afflicted with that. Like for instance, my older brother,
Yeah.
he's the one that like needs to be in contact. I'm the one that I'm like, I'm happy being
I'm bad
away.
at that, actually. I never, when I'm out of town, I never call my wife. But the food in Australia is also like incredible. How were you able to adapt your kind of cooking to like the ingredients and just Australia in general?
Australia for me was quite fun.
Yeah.
Adapting, I really didn't adapt.
Yeah.
I just
You had all the ingredients there.
yeah.
Wow.
Because
Better access than New York City
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
like-
like
produce is
Australia's
amazing.
huge and there's so many different climates.
Yeah.
In Queensland's tropical.
Yeah.
And when I decided to do what I wanted to do was just a matter of sourcing. Obviously, things taste a little bit different, but they're not so far different that you got to like switch.
Yeah.
I tell people this all the time with cooking. Cooking's cooking, and as long as you are present and you can make micro adjustments when you need to make them.
Yeah.
And then it's just about like constantly being present. And I think that's what really separates good cooks and average cooks and great cooks. It's that ability to be just present and mindful.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds frou-frou, but it's
No.
true.
You're very present.
Yeah, and it's not dissimilar. Like all like Momofuku restaurants, for the most part, have all had open kitchens.
Yeah.
And the logic of that, I mean, obviously it adds energy, it adds engagement, but also we always say it's also so that the team, especially the back of house, can see people eating and can see like what's going over, what's not, like how are dishes coming back? Are there certain portions that no one's touching? And it's like that kind of awareness and attention to detail and being present and kind of not just putting your head down, making the same thing 100 times. If 100 times it's coming back, no one's touching the sauce, whatever. And so for us, it's very much about kind of being in the moment and being able to adapt and learn as you go.
I agree. And to all people out there that work in open kitchens, you still actually have to do that. You still actually have to like actively be present and care for the people around you and the people you don't even know,
Yeah. I mean, I've always been like, I don't know if I hate to work in an open kitchen. Like, you get a stain on your shirt or something, you change your shirt. I don't know. It's like everyone's watching you.
That's why we wear
I guess
tie-dye.
I don't like to be present. I mean, the staff at Kabbalah was awesome. Everyone, like all the, what do you call them? The people that like cook the food, or like, I guess they're the
Cooks?
They're all, I don't know, they all like seem like they could be like your friend. Not even that your servers or your people that work at a restaurant should be your friend, but they actually all seem like they care about you, like your service.
Yeah, because that's a big part of Kabbalah, Like there are a few things where I'm constantly preaching, One, I'm always saying, make one friend a day, And
Hopefully it's me today.
And not like all exchange numbers but just be kind and be attentive and like connect with one person a day.
Yeah.
2, be yourself. I definitely, it is important for me that people could be themselves in that space, And I feel very privileged to have such a cool crew.
Yeah.
You know, this current crew of ours is the best we've had, and I feel really good about it. And the cooks that we hire, I tell them cooking's 50% of your job.
Yeah.
You know, like at least the people that work during service, like service time, 50% is cooking, you know, 20% is service, and 30% is a good attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, or even I'd say 50, 30, 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 20 is like you are actually serving people, right? And then 20% is just having a good attitude and like being present.
Yeah.
And that's literally part of my interview, because a lot of people come in and they see it, and then being actually in it's very different. I'm like,
Yeah.
the reality is that you're going to be in front of somebody that's going to ask you questions.
Yeah.
And some people are going to ask you a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And some of those questions are going to be annoying.
Yeah.
But you got to facilitate and be a part of that journey for that person, because you don't know, right? Like, people come into dinner in all sorts of moods for all sorts of reasons, and it's not your job to know all those reasons.
Yeah.
But it's your job to like take people through a journey and their own journey, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess what I was trying to say in too many words is that everyone has a great vibe.
Yeah.
And it's clear that you hire them for that.
Kabawa is a vibe restaurant, man.
Yeah. It's very vibey.
I think it's vibes, but it's also like kindness.
Yeah.
And I think that's almost the rarer
Yeah.
of the two. Like,
Yeah.
like vibes, you know, not hard to come by,
Yeah.
but more restaurants. And I think what Kabawa does a little different is it's truly like that warmth, right? And that making a friend, inviting people in. And I think a lot of the reviews kind of hit on this. It's like, that's the rarity.
Yeah.
Especially in New York City.
Yeah.
That's like why people dine out. I mean, especially post-pandemic, you know, I think that, you know, tough economic times, whatever it is, you know, people are looking for, you know, something we talk about all the time, like an experience,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you're going to spend the dollars, if you're going to go, you know, it's your anniversary, it's your birthday, whatever it is, you know, that's the difference maker, and like our competitive advantage.
Yeah.
In addition to the food being awesome.
Yeah. So what comes next after Kabawa?
So-
how do we follow that up?
So it's an interesting, like, to the question you asked earlier of like, have you been dreaming of Kabawa? Like,
Yeah.
Kabawa in a lot of ways was almost like a result of restraint, right? Like, we have this space.
Yeah.
Okay, it needs to be a set menu because that's what works there.
Yeah.
This is the number of seats, et cetera. But I feel like, you know, you and I have talked about, like, if it was truly just a white box, like 4 walls, it can be anything. You know, I don't know if it necessarily would have been Kabawa.
Yeah.
It would have been something different. And so I think what's fun is now, like, okay, great, we did that. There's still so much, I always say, like, you know, we're not even a year in.
Yeah.
There's so much work to do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, right now you guys are working on a private dining room that's next door. You know, that's a whole thing. You know,
It's going to be beautiful.
it's going to be beautiful. And so, you know, look, restaurants to me aren't done when they open. They're
Yeah.
done like a year, 2 years, 3 years,
5 years,
5 years. It's like the constant evolution to make it what you intended it to be. And so we still have like a bunch of that work at Kabawa, in
Yeah.
my opinion. So I think that's one.
Yeah.
And then 2, I think it's, you know, I think the amazing thing is, you know, also all of this happened for a lot of part, you know, as I said, like Paul and I on a phone, kind of going back and forth. Now that you're physically here, amazing. We, you know, actually can have conversations around like, all right, like, let's go look at spaces. Let's go have these conversations and figure out, I don't know, whatever this guy wants to do next. We're happy to support.
What do you want to do next?
This restaurant took a lot out of me.
Yeah. It's hard to think about the next one after you just.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, for me, the most important thing is getting the bar
Yeah.
and Kabawa restaurant like humming and proper. You know, we're in a good place, but I have that sort of personality. I guess it's probably why Dave and I connect. We're never ever happy with anything. We express ourselves very differently, but at our core, it is very similar. Where something might be great and in front of you, and you're just always trying to like tweak and make it better, you know. And I think Kabawa Cabal could be a lot better, and the bar could be better, and we just gotta like keep pushing.
Nice. So I guess getting toward the end, and usually at the end, I do this thing where we do like a shout out. So I'll start and I'll do one, and then you do one, and then you do one, and then I'll do one. So the first thing I'm going to shout out is my wife. She made her own wedding dress. We got married recently.
Oh, wow.
And she did a whole wedding capsule collection. It's at this place called Null Object, Gauntlet Chang at Null Object. It's a gallery. And that you can see all of the wedding dresses she made, and they're really, like, actually very beautiful. I'm pretty moved by them, and not just because she's my wife. They're beautiful. So go to Null Object. That's my first shout out.
Wow, I can't top that. I was thinking about this. I think something, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about, like hospitality and kindness, et cetera. I've been very recently into phone reservations, restaurants that only do phone, because it's like an actual conversation. You're like, oh, like, they'll be like, we can do it, but you have to be out by this time. Like, there's a little bit more of a like give and take.
Yeah.
And right now, I feel like we're at this like crazy point with reservations where it's spread across all these different platforms, and you know they're snacked up, like, you know, Haas your hat, like they're just all gone, like. And so the ability to like get on a phone and talk to someone and have that is, I don't know. I think we're going to come full circle in some ways.
So if you need a reservation at Kabawa, call. Maybe.
It's not a Momofuku thing. Momofuku is zero phone, but I personally like phones.
But you guys do phone at Kabawa, right?
So it's like if you call, they'll call you back. But it's not like you call and someone's like, hello, you know.
That'd
and
be
you can
so
like,
annoying to have to answer the phone.
It's so fun.
There was a restaurant in Sydney that had no platform. And
No platform?
Like no platform. No 7 rooms, no open table.
In a cool way or in an annoying way?
They were great. It was one of my favorite restaurants, but getting a reservation there, because it was also small. You had to call or send an email, and then you just had to like wait.
Yeah.
Because most of the times they want to pick up.
Yeah.
And then you just had to wait for them to respond.
Have you ever tried to make a reservation at Don Pepe's?
No.
It's like the best. Like you call and they're like, we don't take reservations, and then right before you hang up, they're like, okay, hold on.
I want to try that.
Like,
I want to try that.
What are you thinking? And then you like have a
I need to try that. Just as like it's going to stress me out.
It's so good.
There's this
More cannoli. Okay, wait.
You heard of this place?
Yeah.
This place, Hori.
What's it called?
Hori. It's like a 2-hands hospitality place, but it's like a 8-seat izakaya, and it's like you can't make you have to be referred to make
Got it.
But I guess they just use Resi, and you can just they use Resi, but you have to be. They have a special list on Resi of people that can make reservations.
Understood.
I don't
But
know.
like, there's all these like Upper East Side restaurants, like these Italian spots, like Elio's and like Cremola's, that it's like you have to call.
Yeah.
And it's a total paper book. Like
They're not gonna like my voice. Like I'm gonna call and they're like, not this guy.
That's so fun.
My shout out, this is gonna be real random.
Yeah.
I want to shout out my boy CB Sobolski.
CB Sobolski.
Yeah, from Marvel Comics.
I follow him on Instagram. Yeah. I've always wondered what that guy's deal is, because he's always eating at the best restaurants.
Oh, and
then he's
one of
posting
the
Marvel
greatest
stuff, and I never knew.
humans on Earth.
Cool.
He's the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics.
Nice.
And like Momo
Yeah.
regular for, probably all 21 years.
Yeah. Love
so
CB.
cool. Yeah, I've always wondered about him because I've been following him for a while.
Oh, the best.
So cool. What a cool life. He
Got a cool
won.
life, and he's such a nice person.
Yeah.
So CB, lunch soon, bro.
My shout out is for Kat Harriman. It's our friend, and she sent us this box of chocolates, and it's by this company called Altman and Kuhn. I'd never heard of it. It's like a little box of chocolates that it opens up into 3 tiers, and it's like little bitty chocolates that they're like the size of bugs, but they're all like wrapped up really beautifully. And I don't know, it's just such a treat. It's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And she just sent it to my wife's office, like as a random, like, congrats for getting married gift. And I'm like, this is the nicest, most fun gift that I've ever got. Yeah. That's it. Thanks for listening, guys. Cheers. Expense Account is a production of Feed Me in partnership with Public Sound and Substack. Our executive producers are Emily Sundberg, Jason Gauntlet, and Ryan Woodhall. Our associate producer is Cami Fateh. Our audio engineer is Luke Moldoff. Our video editor is Izzy Cross, and our graphic designer is Justin Sloan. Expense Account is recorded at WSA NYC. For more episodes, visit us at feedme.substack.com. See you next week.